Rise and shine, YouTube. It's your boy Rise, and today we're going to talk about my 3 top gaming mice of 2023 so far. We're going to start off with the X2 Mini Clear Edition. Then we are going to talk about the Zowie EC3 Wireless. And then we are going to talk about the MP01S Wireless at the very end. So, sit up, strap in, and let's go. All right, little backstory before we get into the review. I have 16:9 hands, and well, it has always been hard for me to find the right mouse shape that fits my hand style. I'll always say when you look for a mouse, the mouse should fit you, right? You should never have to change anything to fit the mouse. If the mouse is natural in hand, if it's comfortable, that is a good mouse for you to learn on and to start your M&K journey on. A lot of the pro players are sponsored by the larger companies, and well, they're sponsored, right? They pretty much get paid to promote the mouse and all that. And when you look at it that way, that brings a lot of hype into some of the more overhyped shapes, such as the Logitech G Pro Superlight. For smaller hands, that is not an awkward mouse, but it's a little too large of a mouse, where it's more of a big potato in my small hands. And when you look at other reviewers, right, there's not a lot of reviewers that have my size hands in the scene. So that's why I do this. I try to get my thoughts on mice to help the smaller hand community and even the medium hand community kind of help them choose the mouse that is pretty much best for them, and to get my opinions out there and what they might like based on just my hand size alone, right? Now, none of the reviews that I do are biased. I've purchased every single mouse that you see on the table, every painted mouse, everything that I've gotten a few mice for free, but I never changed my opinion on a mouse, right? I'm either gonna like it or I'm gonna hate it. But today you see 3 different mice on the pad. You see the X2 Mini Clear Edition, MP01S Wireless, and the EC3CW. These 3 are my favorite mice of 2023 so far, and just my top performing mouse, or my top performing mice of 2023. Now I say so far because why? I have a few others coming. I have the Viper Signature Edition that I picked up to do a review on for you guys. I have the LA1 on pre-order to give a review on for small-handed reviewer or gamers. I'm probably going to pick up the Starlight, or not the Starlight, but the Ultralight Lion from Final Mouse when that drops. I reviewed the Starlight Small and all that. And the X2H is coming, X2H Mini. There's a lot of mice to look forward to in the future. The Lamzu Maya, all those. So there's going to be a lot of different mice, a lot of different shapes coming that I'll probably have a top 5 at the end of the year to just give you my top 5 performing mice again, right? But today you have to see the top 3. And we're going to start with the X2 Mini. This, if you've been watching the channel, if you've been watching the streams, this has been my main and longest running mouse on the channel, I think, in forever, right? Since the Hottie S OG style came along. Now, these 3 obviously knocked that out of the question. But when it comes to the X2 Mini, the shape it's just one of the safest and most comfortable shapes for small hands that you will find on the market. And I'll say that because for a small-handed gamer, this is extremely comfortable. There's no excessive flare-outs on the front that kind of make your ring and pinky finger kind of need to curl in. There's no aggressive wideness in the back, and there's not an aggressive curve on the side, right? I'm trying to exaggerate my movement so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But this mouse, when you grip it, it's just there. It is a straight comfortable, just nice and natural feeling mouse in the hand for small hands, right? When you look at the shape, you have the hump in the back with an aggressive tapered down M1 and M2. You got some nice comfort grooves on M1 and M2 that don't lock your finger into such an aggressive placement like the MZ1 or the MZ1 Wireless did. And the hump isn't too high, it isn't too wide, and it isn't too flat. So you still kind of have a presence in your hand where you can use a nice claw grip, a fingertip grip, or more of a relaxed style grip if you want to. Now, this is how I hold the mouse, right? Nice, natural. I can bring it in, use my thumb a lot. I use my fingers on the clicks to kind of help with tracking, and sometimes I bring the mouse back in to my hand to help with stability and all that. Now, one thing about mice is sensor placement, right? So when you place your hand on the mouse and to get comfortable on anything, when you pick your hand up, look at where your finger or your pinky and your thumb are placed. Are they in line with your sensor? Now, my theory with this is that when you have your thumb and pinky in line with the sensor of your mouse, you are going to have probably the best performance and more stabilized performance on that mouse in general. That's just me though. So if you wanted to try the theory, get your favorite mouse, get a grip to where your pinky and your thumb are in line, and see how you perform. See how different you perform with the grips that you use, or if your grip is already using that alignment. It's just something that I've picked up over the course of using different mice, such as the Hot ES and the HTX. Those all have higher placements in the sensor. Everything kind of felt a little off with the tracking and stuff, and I think that's just sensor placement. Now, when it comes to the clicks, the scroll wheel, clicks are crispy. Scroll wheel is nice, tactile. You can feel each step, and it's smooth and quiet. There's no pre-travel, post-travel. That's pretty much not even there. It's just great. It's a good, comfortable mouse. Highly recommend this to be your first mouse if you are a small-handed gamer and you are swapping over to M&K. I will tell you that this should be, or in my opinion, should be your first go-to mouse. And they're not that expensive. They're about, for the performance and everything you get out of this, it's about $94 before shipping. Compared to most mice on the market now, if you want something like that, you're going to pay around the same price or a little extra for it, such as like the Atlantis Mini. But I think the Atlantis Mini is not as safe as in the shape as the X2, just because on the aggressive curves. The length on the X2 Mini is 116, and the weight is around 52 grams, plus or minus a gram. And just try it out. If you have small hands, go for it. And if you're still here, hit that like button, subscribe. It helps me out, helps me get more traction to the channel. Leave a comment below on what your favorite mouse is currently. Let's talk about it. Second off, we're going to talk about the EC3 CW. Now, Zowie, in my opinion, knocked it out of the park with this mouse. It doesn't come like this. This is painted by Nacho Customs. And this is an ergo shape. So you can see with the ergo shapes that this guy right here has a slant on the right hand side to kind of fit the natural hand position on a mouse. So when you're gaming and you like ergo shapes, it should just feel it should be extremely comfortable, right? It shouldn't be too narrow. It shouldn't be too you shouldn't be locked in. I don't really like having my fingers locked in because sometimes I do move my hand around here and there, or my fingers around on the mouse here and there based on scenarios, right? So this is why I like the EC3 over the X-Lite V2, over the Caster Pollux, over the Nijitsu Ergo. Like any Ergo, I think this is the best smallish mouse. Now I say smallish because this does pretty much fill my hand up because it's on the larger size of small because of the back length. Since it starts over here and the hump is pretty much towards the middle, it kind of allows you to get more of like a palm grip for small handed gamers like myself. But you can still also transition to a fingertip style like this, and you can still bring it back into your hand if you need to, right? Like I said, smaller hands, you might want to try the X-Lite V2 first because this is more on the larger, small size. This is the smallest EC3 out of the EC family from Zowie. And I think for small hands, try it. Try it out. Now, when it comes to the shape, right, you can see on here that you have a curvature here for your ring finger, and the thumb here kind of gets you that nice, comfortable placement for your thumb. Placing it right there. For your little ring finger, well, my little ring finger, to get placed right in that little notch, and your pinky just to kind of lay here. And when it comes to the clicks and the scroll wheel, the clicks are super soft, right? Super spammable. I haven't had issues with double clicking either, which is great. But depending on where you grip, you can get it to actuate all the way back here. So depending on your grip style, the click height is pretty damn good to meet any kind of grip style that you have. And well, the weight on this guy is around 76 grams, and the length is about 119 millimeters. So it's not a large mouse. I would place this into a small, medium-ish mouse for people who are looking for an ergo shape. And when I use the kind of theory of the center placement, once again, my thumb and my pinky are in line with the sensor. And when it comes to accessories, I think the EC3 has the coolest one, where it comes with a wireless receiver, right? Or an extended receiver, you should say, and it acts as a charging station for the mouse. So when you're done gaming, you throw the mouse on there, it connects with the wireless connector, or not the wireless connector, but the little prongs here, not the prongs, but you know what I'm talking about. Connects there, charge it overnight. I think that is very cool, right? And for this to be 76 grams, it doesn't really feel that heavy. Take the Cobra Pro. That mouse felt heavy because of the shape, all right? The weight distribution in this mouse is pretty damn good, where it's a solid weight balance, right? And the sensor is a 3370. The sensor feels better than some 3395s, on par with 3395s for being a 3370. Like, I don't understand like the huge gripe on all these new sensors. Now some of the older ones do have like any like stuff lower than the 3370, like the 3335 and all that. Yeah, they have kind of issues with the liftoff distance, but the 3370 to a 3395, it doesn't make a big difference to where you are going to perform different, right? It's not going to make you perform better. It's not going to perform worse. You're not going to notice anything, right? Unless it's just dog shit. It's a dog shit mouse. That's it. But when it comes down to performance, when it comes down to comfortability, it's comfortable. It does what it needs to do, and is a great mouse for small-handed gamers to use if you are looking for an ergo shape. So take that as a grain of salt for the EC3 CW. It is my favorite ergo currently, and we'll see what comes on later on throughout the year. Lastly, we're going to talk about the newest addition to the wireless family, and that is the MP01S wireless from Vaxee. Now, I would put this over the EC3 CW because this thing feels so good in hands. It is comfortable, right? The shape is very, very unique. Now, I wouldn't really put this as an ergo or a direct symmetrical mouse, because as you can tell, it has these weird kind of curves on the mouse. It looks very awkward, but for small hands, right? This mouse is 118 millimeters long, according to the website. It's about 50, I think it's about 56 to 58 grams. And when you grip it, it kind of, the curves in and then curves out on this side, and the same thing here, curves in and curves out. So the left hand side is kind of like an ergo shape, where it kind of gets you that thumb placement kind of in that curve where it sits, right by the buttons. And the buttons, by the way, on this mouse are phenomenal. No pre-travel, no post-travel. Same thing with the clicks. And the scroll wheel is quiet compared to the wired one, and it's tactile. You can feel the individual steps. It works. You can spam the clicks, however you want to do it. But the shape, once again, when I am using the mouse, finger, thumb are pretty much in line with the sensor. The ring finger is sitting right in that curve. The thumb is sitting right in the curve. And the widest part, it's kind of sitting right under the meatiest part of my palm. And when you use this in game, you can fingertip this as a small-handed gamer. Like this. You can place your palm on the back of it, because the back is pretty wide now. It's a pretty wide in the back, where it's 63 millimeters wide. So you can place your palm here, and you can claw it. Kind of place your thumb a little closer back, and it gives you an idea of, you can use what grip you want to use. You can sit there, you can palm the mouse, you can do whatever you need to do. And just like the X2 Mini, like, the shape works for small hands. It just does. Now, if you have large hands, the MP01 Normal Edition might be better for you, because this is more on the flatter side now, where you don't really have a distinct hump. You do have one, but it doesn't feel, it feels more on the flatter side than a mouse that has a hump, right? So that's why you can see it here, is that there's really no hump touching my hand at all. It feels good. Tracking and apex felt on point the last week of trying this mouse out, and just damage output, kill numbers, flicks in CSGO, just everything felt good. It felt natural, felt comfortable. Now mine has a little creak on the side, where if you touch it in a certain spot, it does make that little popping noise. But Vaxi has incredible customer service, where I message them and 5 minutes go by and I already have a return label ready to send this back and get a new one. Like, you can't ask for anything better than that. I know some companies, cough G-Wolves, have terrible customer service, where just having a customer service like Vaxi, and just these style, like, these guys here are all phenomenal in what they do. And that's about it. Like, this is $33.95 sensor. The X2 Mini is a $33.95, and the Zowie has a $33.70. All perform equally great. I've been using the Ninja pad from Kurosun, a great speed pad. I'll have a review on this tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But there you have it. My top 3 mice of 2023 so far are all completely different shapes. I enjoy using these mice. I have a blast using these mice. They feel good, they're comfortable, and each of these mice, I would highly recommend somebody try at least one of these. Out of all 3, I would choose the X2 Mini, then the MP01S, and then the EC3, in that order, right? But if you're new to the PC gaming scene, try the X2 Mini out if you have small hands. If you've loved the MP10S wired, pick up the MP01S wireless, because I think you're going to like it a lot more. And if you're a fan of ergo mice and you have small hands, pick up the EC3 CW. Mice for every single different grip, preference, everything that you want to do, you got it there. So that's it. Once again, hit that like, hit that sub button. Let's grow the channel. Let's get more videos. I'm going to do more videos starting at least once a week on either a mouse or a mouse pad. Whatever comes in, I'm going to get a review on it, right? And it's all going to be based on my opinion. Nothing is biased on this channel. A lot of businesses don't even like me. So I purchased this stuff myself, and we go from there, right? I'm not gonna stop reviewing mice. I'm not gonna stop reviewing mouse pads because it's a passion that I have, and I like to inform people on different shapes, different sizes, different pads, different speeds, everything. That's my goal in my channel, and that's how I want to grow. And if you want to stick in with me, sub, and let's get it going. Love you guys. God bless. Rise up. See you for the next one.